Welcome to the Vegan Pulse, the podcast where compassionate individuals from around the globe share their personal journeys into veganism and discuss their ongoing efforts to promote this ethical lifestyle, with your host, Nancy Arenas.
Welcome to the Vegan Pulse, where we bring you stories from compassionate people worldwide, sharing their journey into veganism and their current efforts to promote this ethical lifestyle. I am your host, Nancy Arenas, and today my guest is Debra Linnie. Debra is one half of the Red Angel Duo, a musical pair based in Florida. They've been performing together since 2016, playing classic rock and one-hit wonders. Beyond music, Debra is a compassionate individual who has volunteered at Farm Sanctuary, a place that provides care and sanctuary for animals. Her commitment to compassionate farming and veganism reflects her values and love for animals. Now happily retired, Debra continues to make a positive impact in her community. Stick around. I want to introduce her to you. Hi, Deb. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I am doing very well and so very happy to be here with you today to share about you and the compassionate individual that you are.
Well, thank you. And I really am, because I just love our planet and I love all the inhabitants on it. They bring me such joy. I love watching them living life on their own terms. I live near a park that has bald eagles and gopher tortoise and all kinds of other animals. I literally almost ran into a raccoon yesterday. He didn't see me. I did see him, and he kept coming right at me. And I said, "Yo, buddy," and he ran. Anyway, I love all animals, and not just cats and dogs. I have one dog, but I love them all.
I'm glad you said that, because when people usually say I love animals, they're really just talking about cats and dogs and maybe a hamster or something like that, or a parrot. But we're talking about all animals, as you said. Now, tell our viewers where you're at right now.
Where I live currently?
Yes.
I'm from Pennsylvania, and we recently moved down here to Florida because we like the warmer weather, and we would travel down to Florida in the winters, and then we discovered that we could live down here and then travel around in the summers. So that's our plan. So down here in Englewood, lots of wildlife still, even though the land is getting eaten up by humans, putting houses everywhere. Mm-hmm. That's part of the destructive human nature, I guess.
We have to take over everything.
Absolutely. And they're having this problem down in the Keys currently, where fish are swimming in circles to the point that they die. And it's very alarming, because they don't know why it's happening, but they're discovering that there's some kind of algae at the bottom of these waterways down in the Keys that these animals are taking in, and then they are turning in circles until they die. It's very alarming.
I just read that article, I think a day ago. It's just, we're destroying everyone's environment.
Exactly.
Including our environment. And
absolutely.
And we're just, and people just don't want to stop, look, listen, and do the right thing, which is, to adhere to a vegan lifestyle. That way it helps the planet, the animals, people, our health.
Exactly. For me, it's almost like a no-brainer, especially in this day and age. I've been a vegan for over 10 years, but I was a vegetarian for about 35 years. And seeing where vegan or vegetarianism was back in the 90s and now is, incredible. There are so many food options that you don't need to eat animals. We can use our creative brains to create delicious food without harming another being. And the other thing that really gets me is that animal agriculture is unsustainable. We have over 8 billion people living on this planet, and we cannot feed 8 billion people a meat and dairy lifestyle. It's just too much. And so consequently, there are lots of people that are starving to death so that other people can go to a all-you-can-eat food bar and throw away half the food, So it's we're off scale, it's the haves and the have-nots, and it's just too much. People need to start showing more compassion towards each other and the planet.
Exactly. Now, tell me about your journey into veganism. Like, what was the thing that made you say, I'm vegan from now on?
That's a really good question, because I know exactly what happened. I was on Facebook and I was friends with this girl, and I had been a vegetarian for like 25 years at that point. And she showed a video of calf crates, and there was literally thousands and thousands of these crates, actually veal crates. And I looked and I thought, that's dairy. And at that point, I knew I could never have another piece of cheese ever again, or eat butter, or have yogurt. And so I stopped right then and there. And then I also gave up eggs too. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to be full-fledged vegan because it just makes sense. And it resonates in my heart. And so I stopped immediately. And what's really interesting is that was back in, 10 years ago. And now the dairy options or non-dairy options are incredible. Miyoko's has delicious kinds of cheeses and cream cheeses, and there's all different kinds of milk. I actually make my own milk, and I make my own yogurt now too, and it's vegan. It's just soy milk and like a vegan starter, and so I'm not missing out on anything. A lot of people think they're giving up something when they go vegan, when they're actually opening up their hearts and compassion for the entire planet, not just the animals. It's for the earth that we are, for myself anyway. And interestingly enough, on the side note, if I was told that not eating eggs or a piece of dead animal would take years off my life, that wouldn't make me change my life or my food choices. I'm doing it specifically for the animals and not for my health. But my health is a byproduct of being vegan. But then backing up on that, there's a lot of junk food that is vegan. So I eat healthy. So I don't really eat much junk food. Right. Or even processed food for that matter. Because vegans, they say, oh, vegan food is all processed. Well, if I make seitan, that's not processed. I made it. It's these, ingredients that I put together and make delicious food. I'm using my creative brain to make food without hurting another being, which I love.
Yes. And the other thing is that, that's another myth, another thing that we have to break through. People go, oh, because vegan food is so processed. There's nothing more processed than animal flesh.
Absolutely.
Let's get real, right? There's nothing more processed than that. I mean, they have to add, sometimes they have to add, they have to add antibiotics, right? Then they have to add disinfectant to the food, in whatever way that they do it. Because it's rotting flesh.
Exactly.
And then they have to add this ingredient, I can't remember off the top of my head, to make the food look, the steak look pinkish, because otherwise it would look brown and black. If we were going to tell the truth, there's nothing more processed than animal flesh with more.
Right. And my husband just said, I think it's pink slime they add to it to make it, to give it a pink look, to give it an appealing, appetizing, because once you cut a piece of dead animal, it browns, it's not going to stay pink and, appealing. It's going to change color. And so they put all these additives in to make it look more appealing.
Right.
So it is very highly processed, and they're finding that a lot of these products are also a known carcinogen. So eating cows is really bad for you, and it's bad for the rainforest, and it's bad for the animals, of course, and and it's bad for all the other humans who they're feeding this grain to. If they're lucky enough to get grain, they've been feeding them all kinds of crap, like, for example, chicken crap. Down in Texas, they've been feeding these cows this really crappy food, and now the chicken crap, they're speculating that they're now getting this avian flu from the chickens because they're feeding them their crap. So it's of course they're going to get some kind of illness from eating, not healthy food. So
right. And you think that when you say, plus not only that, but it is destroying the planet, the water we drink. I mean, how many times have you heard about there's something wrong with the water? They have to tell people to boil your water or don't drink the water, the air pollution, right? And then the land pollution, which the more we pollute our land, the less we can grow real food that is actual healthy for us, because it is being devastated by animal agriculture. It is one of the worst things that we could have going on in our lives.
Right. And then the runoff from the fertilizers that they then treat goes into the water. And now this is part of the reason why the fish now are spinning to death. And, it's just, we're being so destructive, which is kind of ironic because we're destroying our home. And people just don't seem to understand that, there's no planet B. This is all we've got, and we can either take care of it or continue the course.
Right. We can kill ourselves, or we can, wake up and see what we're doing and do something about it, and you don't have to wait for somebody else, because every person that goes vegan is another person that's helping the earth, is helping humans, is helping the animals. And, as long as we keep sharing that message, sharing our food, telling people, hey, this is a lie that we've been given. We have been conditioned to believe that animals are food sources when they really aren't. They're sentient beings who want to live. They have fear, they have love, they have all these feelings that we have. They're just like the cat and the dog that we all love and say when we say we love animals. So, let's wake up and understand that this is what's going on.
Right. And if you care about your grandchildren, don't you want to leave them a planet that is viable for them to be in? And again, with the food choices that are today, you can get plant-based shrimp, you can get plant-based steaks. Meaty makes it a really delicious one from mushrooms. There are so many food options, and they're actually healthier for you as well, so there's really no excuse except for laziness and, just focused more on, your taste buds, but your taste buds can be happy with these vegan foods, so it's just a matter of making a commitment to the planet before it's too late. And we're really getting close to that. It's too late. So yes. People need to wake up.
As a matter of fact, scientists are saying that it's just going to be like we're just going to have these mega events happen. And they're just going to come out of nowhere. The more we destroy the planet, the more the scientists can't lay out a plan of what's going to happen because they don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
So let's go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, I'm good.
So I was going to say, let's talk about your vegan musician. And okay. You are half of the Red Angel duo?
Correct. My husband is the other half. And we play locally. We have a lot of gigs. I do have on my music stand signage that says "Go Vegan." Sometimes I get positive feedback from that, and sometimes I get negative feedback. But at least it opens up a discussion so that people can then be informed whether they want to hear it or not. I'm going to say how I feel about, especially I think for me, the big tick that opens up people's eyes is this sustainability of 8 billion people eating animals. It's just not feasible. But we do play a lot of music from the 60s and the 70s. There's a couple of songs that I really like to do that try to love one another right now.
That's
we
the
do that
song.
one.
That's the song.
Yeah.
So by doing that, you are therefore also advocating for veganism, because even that one sign, like I walk around and I know a lot of people are not wearing masks, but when I'm in a crowd, I'll wear my mask, and usually all my masks have a vegan message on it. So
oh, nice.
to me, it's advocating. I'm a walking billboard. How many times have somebody said, "Oh, can I see what it says on your mask?" And I'm happy to do it.
Absolutely. That's a great idea. I do have a bunch of T-shirts that I'm wearing.
I see that. I like that one, Plant Strong.
Yeah. And I am Plant Strong. And I absolutely love it. I will tell you this is the best thing I've ever done for myself in my life. Embracing veganism to me is my stand where I'm saying enough is enough. I love these animals. They deserve to be able to live life themselves on their own terms and not live in these horrible conditions and live terrible lives. It's just wrong what humans have done to the animals. It's just wrong.
For so long. So if somebody wants to go and catch the red duo angel, how would they do that?
Well, we do have a Facebook page. We're called the Red Angel Duo. And you just type that in Facebook and we should come up. And we do play locally. We play at this place called Sharky's up in Venice. And they have a blackened tofu on the menu, and it's quite delicious. So, I am finding vegan food items more and more as we become a bigger number. The more people embracing veganism, the more food options we're going to find. And that's going to replace a potential meat option. So it's good, so you gotta just make that commitment, and it's easier than you think. There's Ben & Jerry's makes vegan ice cream. Breyers makes vegan ice cream. Hellmann's makes vegan mayonnaise. So there's so many different products that you can get that are just plant-based, and they're quite good. Or make your own ice cream. It's pretty easy. You just use frozen bananas and some cacao chips, and there you go. So it's remarkable.
Well, thank you so very much, Deb, for being on the Vegan Pulse. I appreciate you so much and what you do.
And I appreciate you too. I love that you're doing this. I feel honored to be a part of this. So thank you so much for reaching out to me. It's been wonderful.
Thank you. And I will share some of your information, your social Facebook page for the Red Angel Duo and for yourself. So
that would be lovely.
Want to follow and maybe even come out and see you, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Excellent.
And I will keep in touch. Take care. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks. Take care, Nancy, and thanks so much.
All right. Thank you for joining us on another Vegan Pulse episode. We hope that you're inspired and called to action by listening to these inspiring stories of compassionate people from all over the world. And remember, if you have a pulse, you have a purpose. Live vegan.
Thank you for joining us on Vegan Pulse. where we've shared remarkable journeys and ongoing efforts of compassionate individuals worldwide. These stories inspire and empower, urging you to embrace a vegan lifestyle and contribute to a more compassionate, sustainable world. Remember, your choices matter, and together we propel the vegan movement forward. Keep advocating, making a positive impact, and pulsing with compassion. Until next time.